The phone rang at 3:47 on a Tuesday, and my son's name on the screen still did that thing to my heart it's done since he was 5. I'm Kenny Rodriguez, 58, Navy veteran, retired electrician. I answered expecting news about the grandkids. Instead, Michael's voice was flat, rehearsed. Hey Dad, we moved to Florida last week. Forgot to mention it. The world stopped. Florida? You moved my grandchildren 1,000 miles away, and you're telling me now? It's been crazy, Dad. We just forgot to call. Nobody forgets that. People hide things because they've already decided you don't matter enough to include. Then I heard Linda in the background, sharp and impatient. Just tell him we'll video call later. That's when I understood. This wasn't sudden. This was planned, and I was the last to know. I'd been sending them $2,200 a month for 3 years. Rent, the kids' expenses, never asked, just given. I'd lent Michael my old truck, my contractor tools, co-signed their lease. I thought I was being a good father. Something about that call didn't sit right. Next morning I drove to their old building. Dennis, the super I'd known 15 years, looked confused. Kenny, thought you went with them. They left 3 weeks ago. Movers came at midnight. Strange way to do it. 3 weeks. They'd been gone 3 weeks, and only called yesterday. I still had co-signer rights, so Dennis let me into the empty apartment. It looked like they'd fled, not moved. In the back bedroom, in a pile of junk they hadn't bothered to take, I found my Navy Challenge coin sitting in a photo frame on a stack of papers. Beside it, a laminated copy of my contractor's license. On the back of one photo, in Michael's handwriting, Rodriguez Electric, father and son partnership, established 1985. I never agreed to any partnership. In 1985, I got my license that year, fresh out of the Navy. Michael was 2 years old. The folder underneath had business cards, letterhead, contract proposals, Rodriguez Electric Services, Florida, listing both of us as principals. Bids worth $45,000, $55,000, $65,000. Commercial jobs, the kind that need real credentials and insurance, the kind that can get someone killed if done wrong. And according to these papers, I was supervising all of it. I drove home with that folder, burning a hole in the passenger seat, and called my lawyer, Tim Walsh. He came by at 9 sharp, spread everything across my kitchen table, and his face went grim fast. Kenny, if he's using your license number and your name to win contracts, that's fraud. Let me make some calls. While Tim worked his contacts, I searched Rodriguez Electric Services online myself. A full professional website. My Navy Challenge coin photographed in a fake office. A bio calling me the company's founder and lead engineer. 30 years of experience. Michael listed as operations manager. Testimonials from customers I'd never met. And worst of all, my Purple Heart certificate. Photographed off my bedroom dresser. Captioned with something about the military discipline only a veteran could bring to the business. My medal. Selling electrical work in Tampa. I called my old Navy buddy Carl, who worked the state contractors board now. His answer was immediate. Kenny, this is dangerous. Not just unethical. Unsupervised commercial work can kill someone. File complaints. Florida and Virginia both. Today. Tim called back with worse news. Michael had filed business registration papers, listing me as a silent partner, using my license number. And he'd taken out a $15,000 equipment loan from a Tampa bank, with me as guarantor. Forged signature, my social security number, license number, service dates, all on the application. All those years of quick questions filling out his paperwork, he'd been collecting pieces of my identity the whole time. I went straight to my bank. The account manager pulled up my file and frowned. Mr. Rodriguez, you have an equipment loan with a Tampa credit union, 6 weeks old. 6 weeks. Right when Michael had started talking about Florida more. I'd never signed anything. She sent me straight to fraud investigation. The investigator studied the signature. Whoever did this had your handwriting down cold, and knew you intimately. It's my son, I told him. He nodded like he'd heard it before. Family fraud's more common than you'd think. By that night, my kitchen table was a war room. Forged documents, fake website printouts, photos of my medals used as marketing. Tim asked how far I wanted to take it. I looked at a photo of the 3 of them from last Christmas. 3 months ago, we were a family. Now I was deciding whether to send my son to prison. If a stranger had done this to me, I said, what would you tell me to do? Full prosecution. Then that's what we do. Next morning, I filed with the police. Detective Santos read through everything and whistled low. Textbook identity theft. He's been planning this a while. I filed with the contractors board too. 48 hours to investigate, power to shut the business down and fine him up to $10,000. Void every contract signed under my name. Then I called his clients myself, before they lost more money. Mrs. Patterson in Tampa had hired Rodriguez Electric to rewire her kitchen. Such a nice young man, she said. He told us his Navy father was supervising everything personally. Ma'am, I told her, I haven't touched a job site in 2 years. I live in Virginia. Silence, then horror. 6 more calls, same story. Over $200,000 in contracts won on my name and my medals. By Thursday, the dominoes fell. The board suspended the business. The bank called the loan into default. Clients started demanding refunds. That's when my phone rang. Dad, what did you do? They shut us down. Mrs. Patterson's threatening to sue. I kept my voice level. I told the truth, Michael, that's all. I was building something for our family. I was going to bring you in as a real partner. By stealing my identity to do it? Linda's voice cut in behind him. He's destroying us over paperwork. I gave Michael 48 hours to contact every client and arrange refunds and return the equipment, or Tim would file criminal charges Monday. Then I called my bank and froze the transfers. Over $79,000 sent to them in 3 years, money that had funded a fraud built on my name. They spent the weekend trying everything, calls, texts, even getting my sister to plead their case. I didn't move. Monday, Tim and I sat down with FBI agent Rebecca Martinez, financial crimes. This crosses state lines, Mr. Rodriguez. Wire fraud, identity theft, bank fraud. 5 to 15 years, unless he cooperates. Full restitution, public acknowledgement, supervised probation. That same day, the board revoked Michael's permits, fined him $8,300, and notified every client that the business had operated illegally. Contracts collapsed. Equipment got repossessed. His office lease, the one where he'd displayed my coin like a trophy, got terminated. By Wednesday, he and Linda were in a motel with my grandkids, out of money and out of road. They came to me that evening. Patricia ran to me first. Florida was scary. Mom and Dad were always fighting. I hugged her, heartbreaking for what these kids had been dragged through, but I couldn't let that soften what came next. Michael walked up like a man headed to his own sentencing. Dad, we lost everything. I handed him Tim's folder. You owe $187,000 in refunds, $15,000 to the bank, $8,300 in fines. Losing everything would be an upgrade. Linda tried to weaponize the kids. You want them homeless? The kids come inside, I said. You two earn your way back. The agreement was simple and unforgiving. Every dollar of restitution paid back before anything else. Both of them employed within 30 days, legitimately. The kids would live with me during the school week until they could prove stable, honest housing. Michael would write personal apology letters to every defrauded client. No lawyer language, just the truth of what he'd done. Community service. Quarterly financial audits so there'd be no next scheme. And if we don't sign? Michael asked. Agent Martinez files federal charges tomorrow, and I go for full custody. 3 days later, he signed. Michael took an apprentice electrician job at $15 an hour. Real supervision this time. Linda started as a pharmacy tech. They moved into a small 2-bedroom, nothing like the life they'd chased. The kids settled into a routine with me on weekdays, their parents on weekends, and every Sunday dinner Michael brought his pay stubs, Linda her restitution receipts, usually $800 to $1,000 a month between them. Slow, but real. 3 months in, Michael found me in the garage while I taught Scott basic tool safety. Dad, I was wrong about everything. I took advantage of you and I'm ashamed. I looked at him. Rough hands now, simple work clothes, the calculating look gone from his eyes. Apology accepted, I said, but trust isn't rebuilt with words. It's rebuilt with time. He nodded. Thank you for not cutting us off completely. I thought about it, but these kids deserve to see what honest work looks like. 6 months later, he made journeyman electrician. Linda got promoted and started night classes, honestly this time. Last month, Patricia made honor roll. Scott joined Little League. My Navy Challenge coin sits back where it belongs, next to Margaret's photo. Not as a prop in someone else's lie, but as what it always was. People ask if I feel bad about how hard I came down on my own son. I sleep better now than I have in years. Not because I enjoyed watching them struggle, but because they're finally building something real. Michael thought being my son gave him the right to my service and my name. I taught him it doesn't work that way. Family means honesty and accountability, or it means nothing at all. They forgot to tell me they were moving. I made sure they'd never forget the lesson that followed.